Hey there, this is Brianna, and you are listening to the A Piece of Everything podcast. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, and roll the tape. Hey guys, what's up? What's happening? How's it going? Welcome to our pilot episode of this podcast. This is super exciting, getting to the first episode. I am your host, Brianna, for this fine podcast, and yes, it is so awesome to meet you and have you here. And yeah, this is A Piece of Everything, where we're going to be discussing awesome media like comics and novels to movies and shows from our favorite franchises like Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. And yeah, we're just going to be checking out and seeing what's going on with them. And I'm excited about this because I'm going to do my absolute best to deliver a clean and friendly environment to talk about pop culture, which I feel like is something that is awesome to have on a podcast forum. And also, this is for you guys, and I want you to feel like this is a good hub for this topic of conversation. I have so much I want to talk to you guys about, so you're excited, I'm excited. So yes, let's dive in a little bit and go into some of the details of what the podcast is going to be looking like. So just for a heads up on the formatting, the show is going to be made up of a lot of reviews and, discussions on the stuff that I read and watch, which is actually a lot of stuff, surprisingly. Just to note, I really didn't start getting into, comics and movies and all of that stuff not that long ago, within the past year and a half. So if you are just starting out as well, this is also going to be perfect for you to find your jumping on spot and discover by ear a little bit what you like and what you might be interested in. So you could definitely use this to help you out in that area. But, if you're a longtime fan as well, don't discard this show. And, please don't shut me off, because this is for you too, to listen to things that maybe you've already heard of or come by, but also maybe to find some things that you've never gotten the chance to take a look at. So even you fans can find something new here. So I'm really hoping that this show is going to be able to appeal to both audiences of fans. But, if you're still sitting there and asking yourself what it is exactly that I'm going to be reviewing on this show, I got you. Don't worry. We're getting to that. So yeah, just as a sampler for that, I'm just going to gloss over a couple of things that I'm planning to mention on the show, do some episodes about, and that I would love to get to soon. And one of them, of course, especially today, is going to be about Star Wars. I have to mention Star Wars Visions because today's Wednesday, the 22nd, and Star Wars Visions came out today. So I didn't get a chance to watch any of the episodes yet. It's still pretty early on in the day, but just looking at the thumbnails for some of the episodes and all of that good stuff, I am so excited to dive into that. And I'm sure some of you have already watched that by now, especially by the time this gets posted and ready, but we have to talk about that at some point. It's so cool, and it's so different from what we usually get from Star Wars, which is why it's so exciting and kind of groundbreaking for us fans. And if you watch anime but don't watch Star Wars, this is the perfect time to jump in, because this is like the only time Star Wars and anime have been mentioned in the same sentence, in the same realm. So it's super exciting, and I cannot wait to get to that soon. And also, the High Republic comics and novels. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this, but if not, they are coming out with a lot of new things in this in the High Republic series. Honestly, I am still on wave 1 for all of that stuff, and I think they're currently on wave 3 with the new content coming out. But, I'm getting there, and that's okay. We can advance on that together if, you haven't already yourself. And actually, Light of the Jedi was my first Star Wars novel ever. It was so good, and that's really what got me going with all of this. So, High Republic stuff and Star Wars Visions is definitely on the list for things to discuss. And, okay, so moving to some Marvel stuff, we have to include that in the mix. I really can't wait to discuss some of the Marvel comics in the pre-Avengers Disassembled and Marvel Knights era. So I'm trying to work my way to Avengers Disassembled and House of M and all that good stuff. All of those comics are kind of going back a ways, in the late 1990s and also early 2000s. So it's going back pretty far, but I cannot wait to discuss that. They're so good, and there's a lot of really good stories that I'd love to highlight. Also, the newer movies that are going to be coming out soon. We have some really good stuff to look forward to there. The next Marvel movie that's coming out is Eternals, so I mean, I personally do not know anything about the Eternals, even with, reading the comics and such, but if it's anything like Shang-Chi, we have things to look forward to and good things to anticipate. So, Eternals, yeah, and I'd love to talk about Shang-Chi at some point, and we have Spider-Man No Way Home to look forward to. It seems so far away because, December, and it's September at the moment, but, I mean, we're almost in October, so that's good news. But yeah, we're going to get to some Marvel Comics and the movies as well. And for my DC people out there, I know you're listening. You'll be happy to know that DC Comics and Batman are my favorite. I mean, who doesn't love Batman? So, of course, we're going to cover all of that and their animated movies. If you guys don't watch DC animated movies, man, you are missing out because they are bomb. And the other day, I was just watching Justice League Doom, which is one of their older animated films, and it's such good quality. It's my favorite. So, yeah, we got to get to some of those films and comics. I got through, Batman Hush, and I know I just read Under the Red Hood as well, so I got to talk all of that out with you guys. I'll be sure to include all of the awesome comic runs and crazy comic events that happen in between, the comics and films, so do not miss that. And also, I know I didn't highlight this as much, but I am planning on bringing some anime and manga into the mix. Probably not as much as the other stuff that I've mentioned, just because I don't read and watch as much anime and manga as I do, comics and stuff, but definitely at least a little bit. And I am a My Hero Academia person, which I'm sure a lot of you are as well, as you can tell by the cover of the podcast. So I'm working on that, trying to get through season 5, which I really have to catch up on. And also reading Vigilantes at the moment, if you've heard of that. It's a manga series that's kind of like a prequel to My Hero Academia. So I'm working on the newest volume of that. I mean, that's kind of just glossing over some things that I would love to mention in this podcast and dedicate some episodes to. So if any of that excites you, stick around and you will be getting that content-wise. So yeah, but in regard to some of the stuff that I touched on, if you didn't recognize some of it, that's perfectly okay. That's why I'm here, because we're going to be getting to it, and I will eventually enlighten you on what all of that is. So as you can see, I got your back on this show. So make sure you keep your eye open for some new episodes about all of those things. So let's be real. As you can probably tell, I'm looking to dive into quite the assortment of franchises and media, and just dipping into a lot of different things. So, you might be asking yourself, why, Brianna? Why all of these different things at once? Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and manga and anime, all at the same time. Isn't that a little overkill? Well, it may seem like a lot. I mean, honestly, it really is a lot, but that's what's going to make this fun and enjoyable and different and super engaging is exactly that. Jumping from topic to topic, from movie to movie, comic to comic, whatever. So just getting a little bit of a perspective on everything is going to widen our taste on the podcast, which is something that maybe other podcasts don't do, because I know a lot of other shows focus on a specific character, specific franchise, but dipping into all three is going to give us a lot of content to be able to work with and discuss together, so I'm super excited to go into all of them. And yeah, whether it's stuff that's very new or coming out soon, or just stuff that I've been reading and encountering, it can be anywhere from 2 weeks old to 20 years old. I'll be doing a lot of jumping around on old and new content, but that's what's going to make it all fun. So yeah, I hope that little overview and kind of blueprint for the future of the show caught your interest a little bit. And if it did, stick around. I'm very, very excited and ecstatic to begin our journey, and I hope you are as well. So yes, please keep your eyes peeled for the next episodes to come. I'm going to do this weekly, so next week, stay tuned for that, for sure. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you all next week. Thank you, guys. Ciao.